I'm guessing when you make a trade like that, Seth, you have to make the trade with the possibility that you can't move out of that spot effectively. You know, you can do anything you want to if you're willing to overpay to move out of a spot, but in my mind, I would want to be comfortable. Like, okay, I might have to pick 42nd in the draft. Am I okay with that? And he talked about bands of players again.
Right.
With us, you know?
There are two things about that. One is that the trade made sense. The trade was more in terms of just the old draft value chart. It made sense. So it's nothing like, oh, they're trading out of the first round and they don't have any assets to get back up there if they need to. But the way he said, are we missing out on a band of players? Maybe. It almost sounded like, oh, no, if I spend this money now, I won't be able to buy that AMC Pacer that I was looking for. It just, he doesn't sound all that impressed. He doesn't sound all that impressed with the Yugo that would have been available at 23.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna keep his powder dry, and maybe he likes a few of the used cars available at the top of the second round.
I think it's going to be a really unique draft in that I think it's going to be overloaded early on with quarterbacks, offensive linemen, elite level wide receivers, Brock Bowers, who's a tight end. Like I think there's a whole lot of stuff in the upper part of this draft that the Texans just wouldn't be in on. You know, like I just don't think they would be drafting, and I think so it pushes a lot of other things down.
Yeah.
And I think he feels like, okay, well, it's pushing a lot of other stuff down, and a lot of other stuff that in most years we would stick around at 23 to take. But we're probably going to get something pretty close to it at 42, or we can move back up a little bit if we need to.
Well, and I think like maneuverability within the second round to where he can sit down in the second round. He has those assets, those 2 picks, and everything behind that. But where they're so heavily loaded with wide receivers. And maybe it would have been different if the Keenan Allen trade had worked out. Like those happened somewhat. The Keenan Allen trade was after the first round pick, right?
Yep.
But when they're looking at all these wide receivers, I think the probably thinking is, all right, we can if we like a lot of these guys, we could still move back within the second round. But if there's a wide receiver that we're surprised slipped as far as he did, we can move back up. But that second round, it should be really ripe with wide receiver targets. And at the same time, they can get one of these other position players that perhaps they feel best about. I think. Yeah, at the end of the day, without overcomplicating things, I think Caserio just feels a lot better about the guys that are projected to go in the second round right now. There's some guys that he likes in the first round. It's just he's less likely to get them, so he's just going to wait and see exactly how it all plays out.
And I'd rather have a 2 next year. You know, I'd rather have that extra 2. You know, it's a win-win.